Well, hello once again. Welcome to the Waters and Stanton video channel. My name's Peter Waters. My call sign is Golf 3 Oscar Juliet Victor. If you're like me and you like messing about with antennas, then you're in good company. I particularly like looking at some of the commercial designs because very often, although they're simple, they have some construction techniques, the way it's put together, the sort of thing that you can't easily make yourself. So this particular antenna is probably just one of those. It's called the Moonraker MD7400, and it's a mobile antenna. It's a variable frequency antenna, and it's quite simple in the way it works, and it's not overly expensive, but it's the sort of thing you probably couldn't easily make yourself. So let me show you how it all works, how it's put together, and how I found the easiest way to adjust it on my mobile setup. Now I should explain that I don't operate mobile on the move anymore. If I've got a mobile setup, I operate static mobile. Now whether you call yourself stroke P or stroke M is up to you. But I don't like the idea of driving and operating mobile these days. So this antenna, although it's designed for mobile operation, I favour it for portable operation, but using a mobile setup. So let's take a look at the Moonraker MD7400.
The Moonraker MD7400 is an HF mobile antenna covering the HF bands 160 metres through to 6 metres. It also has capability on 2 metres and 77s, which I'll come to a bit later. But as you can see, it's base loaded. They've got this fairly large coil assembly at the bottom. And then above that, you've got a whip section. In actual fact, the whip is in 2 sections for transport, and the top section is held together with a couple of grub screws. The advantage of the antenna being in 2 sections means it's much easier to transport, pop in the boot of the car or wherever you want to keep the antenna. The total length of the antenna when assembled is approximately 1.7 metres long. I say approximate because the antenna is tunable, as you'll see in a second, and the length depends on the frequency you're operating on. Now, you'll see here how the frequency is adjusted. The bottom section, the coil section, is telescopic, and you adjust that for resonance, and there's some very convenient markings there for future reference once you've established where resonance is. There's also a threaded lock-in section to keep it in place once you've established resonance. The base of the antenna is fitted with a standard PL259 plug assembly, so it'll fit into all the popular hatch mounts, mag mounts, etc. I was surprised how smooth the tuning was. It's not notchy at all, it's very smooth. There was no way that I could easily expose the coil to see how it was tuned, but anyway, it felt really smooth and easy to tune. So what I'll now do is I'll sketch very quickly on a piece of paper how it actually tunes and how the frequency is adjusted. The way the antenna tunes is very simple actually. You've got the whip there, you've got the coil there, and there is a slider that makes contact with the coil. The lower it goes, the higher the frequency because there's less inductance, and the higher you push the coil casing, then the more inductance is in circuit, and therefore it lowers the frequency. So it's quite a simple way that it tunes. The antenna comes with a sheet of instructions, and the power rating they quote is 130 watts SSB. So I guess you can halve that for something like FT8. For CW, 100 watts should be easy. For these tests, I used a hatch mount on the rear of my vehicle, fitted with an SO239 socket, and that's an easy way to mount an antenna these days on many vehicles. Here's the antenna mounted on the rear of my vehicle on the hatch mount, and I can easily slide the coil up and down. And here's a quick way of bringing the antenna to resonance if you've got an antenna analyzer. I've set my chosen frequency to 14 megahertz on the antenna analyzer, switched to VSWR, and then adjusted the antenna until I see the best VSWR. This is quite a quick method. It's not so easy to photograph actually, but I think you get the idea. Move the antenna up and down and you'll get point of resonance pretty quickly with an antenna analyzer. After about a minute, the reverse beacon reports come through, and not bad. As you can see, one report comes from 2,100 miles away. That's not bad mid-afternoon.
Just a short note about the engravings on the or the calibration numbers on the antenna. These are simply numbers, they're not frequencies at all. So the idea is that you find out the resonant point for, say, 20 meters and make a note of the calibration point on the antenna, and do likewise for the other bands. It's not accurate enough to give you the absolute spot-on tuning. It takes you very close, and you then just need to tweak it slightly with an SWR meter or antenna analyzer to get it bang on. But it's a very quick method of getting very close to the frequency. The Moonraker slider worked extremely well. The MD7400, I was rather impressed. I was particularly impressed with the way it tuned and the way it slid up and down. It was quite smooth. No real jerks and no real sort of clicks and so forth. It was altogether rather smooth. I'd have liked to have seen inside the coil, but I decided not to investigate because it wasn't very obvious how you pull it apart. So I didn't want to do any damage. But it worked very well. And if you're into portable operation or static mobile operation, it's an ideal antenna because it's very quick to deploy and it's very quick to adjust. Using the method that I used with the antenna analyzer, I found that to be very good. Switch it to the SWR meter, set it obviously to the frequency you want to operate on, and then just slide it up and down until you get the best VSWR for that band, and then just lock it. And that seemed to do the trick. And altogether, yeah, it's a great antenna. I didn't check 270 because you do need to change the width section to something a lot shorter and slide the coil all the way down. And there was no way I was going to have any 2 meter or 77 contacts in the afternoon, at least in my location. But my main purpose was really to check it on the HF bands, and it did extremely well. So if you're looking for something that's quite cost effective, actually, check the price on our website. If you're looking for something that's cost effective and you can move around the bands and get some pretty good performance really for its size, then this may well be something that will solve the problem that you may be looking for, or you may not. Well, there we are. Thanks for your support on this channel, it's much appreciated. Don't forget to press the subscribe button, that gives us a clue as to whether we're doing the right thing. And in the meantime, you enjoy your ham radio, you take care, and as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.